Enjoy this interview with elegantly raw Doreet going into why humans are so confused about food and diet. Back with the ultimate raw vegan bundle of lives. I'm excited to be inviting elegantly raw Doreet. That's elegantly, not elegantly. Elegantly raw Doreet live with us today. And we're going to be going to a really fun and interesting topic. Why are humans so confused about food and diet? I mean, it's a pretty confusing subject out there. It's gonna be fun to go into that. I see Doreet is already ready, so let's invite her. We're both a part of the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle. You can grab it in either of our links in the bio. She has her beautiful coconut book in there, and I have my Banana Commander's Big Banana book. Welcome, Doreet. How you doing?
Lovely, lovely to see. Is it your last live for today?
This is my last live of the day, and then I'm gonna, a little bit later than I meant to, have a big dinner. How are you doing? You're in the midday right now, hey?
Yeah, I've done two before, but I don't know. You're the end of the day, so you must be wiped.
You know what? I'm not, luckily, because the first 3 days I wiped myself out because I didn't sleep enough and I was just go, go, go. I don't have Wi-Fi here, so I'm hotspotting everything, which slows everything down. Hopefully I get Wi-Fi tomorrow. I'm really hoping so because it's been a little trying. But the last 2, 3 nights, I've really made space for a lot of sleep. I've been making sure to ground, doing yoga, doing all the stuff we talk about to make sure that things are smoother sailing.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. Well, today I'm going to first start with one of the recipes from the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle.
Ooh, that sounds fun. What recipe are we talking about?
Well, the book is on coconut, so
Yes.
it's going to be about coconut.
I love coconut.
So this coconut is the brown kind.
Mm-hmm.
This one actually is a new one that we're getting now in Los Angeles.
Nice.
I prefer the young Thai coconut, but this one is great for traveling, I find. And it has, see the little hole here?
Yeah.
It comes with a straw, and you see how it's angled here? This is so you can poke it right here, and then it goes right in. It's really easy.
Is that a little bamboo straw, or what is that made out of? That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yes.
And is the inside pretty jelly-like for those ones? Are they they're younger coconuts?
So no, I'm going to show that to you. So this is how you get the water out. But for the gel, actually, please talk to the audience because I'm going to come back and bring you the gel because I left it in the fridge.
No problem whatsoever. So as Doreet was mentioning, we're both a part of the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle. This is available only until the 12th at 11:59 p.m. PST. We're coming together with 33 brand new, never before released resources. So if you've ever got any other bundle in the past, you don't have any of these, including Doreet's coconut book with tons of coconut-based recipes. I got my Banana Commander banana book with tons of banana-based recipes. And we got a whole bunch more from, information about being a raw food mother and yoga courses and so much more. And Doreet is back with all she needs. And you can get it in either of our links. So if you want to give Doreet some love, grab it in her link in bio, Elegantly Raw Doreet. Ooh, there we go. Yeah.
So inside here, you got the coconut. You see this is very thin.
Yeah.
So this is very different from regular coconuts, and it certainly is very different from this one, which is much harder. But if you're getting this one, they've got holes here that you just poke in, and then you can use that one. And it's a product, as you can see, this one is from Mexico, but I'm right beside Mexico, so it's really easy for me to get these. This one is from Thailand.
Okay, yeah.
And it's really, really, you can hear it? It's very
you can tell it's really thin.
Yeah, very, very thin. So let me show you. Normally I'm going to use ceramic, ceramic knives, ceramic spoons, but for this, don't use a ceramic, it would break.
Yeah.
So then you go in there and you just take out the flesh.
Oh, yes. Yes,
the
jelly.
Like this.
Love it.
So you see how thin the jelly is?
Yeah.
Can you see that?
A little bit higher. Yeah, there we go. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need to move this. I need to get this down a bit so you can see.
There we go.
So I'm going to put it in the, whoops.
Oh my gosh, hello.
Can you
We
see
almost
me?
went in the coconut water. I can see you.
It almost went in the blender. It
Yeah,
almost
that's
went
no
into the
good.
blender. The foam
Will
in
it,
the
it became
blender.
a will it blend. Will it blend live?
That would be a new recipe, phone in the blender.
Yeah.
I blend the phone. So I'm going to put this in here. In the, of course, it's much better to have a powerful blender, but you probably could use, any other blender too. But I'm going to take the rest of the coconut in here. It's very easy to come out, unlike some of the other coconuts. It's so much easier. You can see how thin it is here. And then the water I already poured in the bottle here. And I'm going to also use raw hemp
Ooh, I love hemp.
seeds.
Yeah.
Now, I only get my hemp seeds from Canada, which is what I recommend. Not because I love Canada, which I do, but not because you're Canadian, but because the best hemp is truly from Canada, and it's raw hemp. And it's, of course, I only use the organic, biodynamic, or I use wild crafted. So the hemp, what I do with the hemp is I soak it in advance. You don't need to soak it for a long time. If you want to soak overnight, if you want very smooth and you want a very, very creamy milk, then you can do so, because I'm doing my living hemp cocoa milk for you. So this is hemp all soaked.
Yeah. So
it comes dried, right, in these little grains. Now, for those of you who are transitioning into anything plant-based, I know the question is always, what about you're an athlete. What about what, Chris? What's the first
protein? What about the protein?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, here you go. Much better than from the animals anyway. This is not slaughterhouse cuisine.
Absolutely.
This is straight from the earth. So,
perfect protein, hey? And amazing amino acids. Yeah.
And the omegas.
Yeah, amazing omegas. Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Yes. You get all of that stuff together, all in one, and you don't have to go out and slaughter anything at all. And the best thing about it is the body recognizes it, because we need to eat for digestion. So I've got the basic stuff in here. Now comes some more fun stuff. So this is cinnamon. Ooh. Now, make sure it's always organic. I prefer mine from Ceylon, Ceylonese cinnamon. Yeah. And I don't know, most of you don't realize this, but if you have a craving for sugar or you have a problem with sugar, cinnamon helps tremendously to actually help you to get rid of the cravings. So very important to have cinnamon, but really high standard cinnamon. And you see how much I use it, how quickly I use it? Don't let your spices stay around for very long, because they get mold. Use spices as fresh as you possibly can, which is why this cardamom, also organic, if you see, I have it very well protected. Sealed. Yes, sealed. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Yeah. Yes, very, very important. So you take that out, you put one cardamom, try not to touch it, try to just have it go into your hand and get one, just one is enough. It depends on how much you're making, but usually one is enough. Always start with less if you're not used to a spice. There we go. That's the cardamom seed. Yep. Put that in there and always put it back immediately. So try not to just run around and leave it out, and do not unseal your things for long, especially not your spices. And then there's nutmeg. I've got the most amazing nutmeg grinder.
Oh, wow, that's cool. Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
And the nutmeg goes in here. Yeah. And then you just use this to go around.
Like a pepper grinder, but for nutmeg.
Yeah, it's really for nutmeg. It's made for nutmeg.
That's cool.
You can see the nutmeg in there. It's wonderful. I love it. I much love it compared to the grater. Yeah. And it also keeps it really fresh as well. And then we must have our vanilla, because I love vanilla beans. But if you don't, if vanilla beans are too expensive, you don't have time to, open it up and take it out, or it dries too fast, you can also get the paste which is directly from the vanilla bean. And this is organic and raw as well. And this is what it looks like when it comes out. I'm going to bring this up to here so you can see when it goes in. You squeeze only a tiny amount because a lot goes out in there.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's good. It's hard to overdo vanilla, though. I mean, well, I guess you can, of course, but vanilla is so delicious.
It makes all the difference in the world. You would not believe the things I put vanilla in. But you'll see in my recipe book the things in which I put vanilla. And so I made a little bit this morning when I was with Debbie Adler. But I'm going to finish it up now in here. So this has the water, the coconut water in it as well. And we're just going to blend this now. So this is the recipe as it is in the book. However,
something special? You got some secret stuff going for us? You got something secret for us going on here?
Well, because we're with the banana commander today. Guess what?
I love it. Oh, some banana. I love it. Yeah, it's hard to go wrong adding a banana into almost anything, I tell you.
And this one is a perfect one. Isn't this one beautiful?
Nice, yeah.
Just perfect.
I like it.
No blemishes, no nothing. And it's perfectly ripe. You know, you should always make sure that your bananas don't look too yellow anymore. You know, make sure that they're just about to spoil. You have to find that safe space between having them spoiled and not spoiling them. And then, of course, you've got to, if you want, you can sweeten it, and you've got to have those dates.
Delicious. Nature's candy.
And not only that, but one of the best sources of manganese. Dates are highly nutritious.
Yeah, they are. Absolutely.
And then you get to sweeten with them, but you must de-pit them.
Oh gosh, have you had the mistake too of making recipes and forgetting to take the pit out and needing to dig and dig and dig, and that painful sound of ting 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 ting? Oh. And
it will also blow your blender, depending which blender.
It's not good.
It can really wreak havoc on it. So that goes in there. So in the recipe in the book, you'll see it says 3. I'm just putting 2 because these are so big, juicy, and fat. Now, if the pith is still in there, it will be still juicy and moist. If the pith is removed, it will dry it out. Always buy your dates with the pith still in there. So here we go. Now it's time for the blender dance. You got to dance now, please.
Dance. Yeah, often pitted dates are actually steamed too. Oh man.
So there we go. Isn't that quick and easy? Let me tell you, if you like creamy, now this is creamy. In the book, in the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle, you'll see that I've said 3 glasses of water, of filtered water. The reason why I said that there, and I didn't use it here, is because most people want the consistency of milk. Also, because if you don't use the water, you just use only the water from the coconut, it might be too rich for you at the beginning.
I like the little face on there. That's so cute.
With a palm tree, with a tree. So it might be too rich for you at the beginning. So that's why I said to have the 3 glasses of water, so you can just add it, make it first like this, use just the coconut water, the coconut meat, and then taste it. And if it's too rich for you or it's not the consistency that you like of milk, because I've never drank milk. I've always hated milk as a child. In fact, I was terrified of milk.
Yeah, it grossed me out.
Really, I would
too. Yeah.
So,
I gave that up. Well, that's one of the first things I gave up, animal products, without ever thinking I was giving up like animal products. You know, it's just.
So now you've got your coconut hemp milk. Here comes the elegant part. I only use glasses.
Of course.
Of course. You're not going to see me using a mug ever.
No.
There we go.
I love it. I love it.
You know, when I was a teenager, my best friends told me that I used to have these parties with watermelon juice and pineapple juice and all that stuff. And they told me that I always serve it in elegant glasses. Here's a champagne flute.
That's a fun,
We don't need
fun one.
champagne. Who needs fan champagne?
That's,
When this is the champagne of the earth. This is the
that's,
natural.
that's beautiful. I love it. I wish I had one. I wish I had one in my hand right now.
Here you go.
Oh,
You know, we
can you imagine? Can you imagine if I did it? That would have just been the best thing ever. Next time we plan that as a secret, only the people here, that'd be really fun. Oh,
the
thank you.
aroma, the aroma, Chris. It's all over the kitchen now.
Is it
Did you
mostly
smell
the
it,
vanilla
Chris?
you're smelling? I smell the vanilla. Oh, it's so good. And
And
the
the
banana.
cardamom and the
Oh, the cardamom.
nutmeg
Oh gosh.
and the
Oh gosh.
cinnamon.
It's almost like a vanilla. Well, I don't want to say it, but it's almost like a nog. It smells like a nog a little
And,
bit, like a
and
banana
actually,
nog.
I've never had a nog, but when I make this, people always tell me it tastes like eggnog
Yeah,
to them.
yeah, yeah. If you put a teeny chunk of durian, because durian smells kind of eggy too.
Never thought of that. My next book for the ultimate raw vegan bundle.
There we
I
go.
guess the problem is that durian is so hard to find that to make a book on durian is
Oh
really
yeah.
only for people in the southern hemisphere.
Yeah, or frozen if they're just eating frozen durian, which is, obviously nicer to be getting the fresh stuff if you can.
It's too smelly. When I first moved here, I went out to the Thai market and I bought this durian, and I had to run into my apartment with it because the stench was so strong. And I brought it into my apartment, and I was still by the building manager and never to bring that in here again because the neighbors all complained.
I tell you once, and this was not very nice of me, but once I brought some durian with me on an airplane, and I had it in my backpack all wrapped up, and I opened it and I had some, and then like the stewardesses and stuff started running around because they thought there was like a gas leak, and I hit it, but they were like, "Where is it?" Like looking and stuff like that. So I haven't done that again since. But yeah, you're not supposed to bring it on planes.
In Thailand, they no longer allow people to go with it on planes.
Yeah, I mean, I had it in my backpack and it was wrapped up in a plastic thing, so it wasn't a whole one. So it was like a frozen one in a plastic bag. So they never checked it or saw it. So, and this was like, I don't know, at least a decade ago.
I'm surprised they didn't smell it because for me, I can smell it a mile away.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it was in Canada flying to the States, so they probably had never even heard of it. Like a lot of people have no idea what it is, right? So, and it didn't smell. I had it wrapped up in like 3 bags, so it wasn't until I opened it that all of a sudden they're like, you know, I love the smell. Oh my gosh, to me it's one of the most intoxicating, beautiful smells in the world.
That's what some people say. I don't like the smell, and yet I love the smell of jackfruit.
Yeah, I love the smell of jackfruit. I love the smell of noni too, and the taste, but a lot of people don't. It's one of my favorites. When I
Wow.
fasted, the first food that I was attracted to was noni.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. So
yeah.
that leads, which goes back to our topic for today. That's a very important topic. And for those who are listening, who don't understand what we're talking about when we say durian, it's called the king of fruits.
Yeah.
It's usually found in Asia, particularly in Thailand and Vietnam, that in Brunei, in the jungles,
Yeah.
all there. So, and it's has quite a stench.
It does. Yeah. Yeah. Tigers love it. Hey, it's one of Tiger's favorite foods.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. My cats too, my little tigers, they love it. So whenever I have it, I share a little bit and they're just like so happy.
Oh my God, this is great news. So you just mentioned something that when you were a child, you've always been attracted to the noni fruit. So when we were children, this brings us to the topic for today, which is why are humans,
So confused.
Chris,
So confused about food and diet.
Yeah, because we're not listening to our inner instinct or instincts. Yeah. Because we all were born, every one of us, even if your mother was her body was pretty toxic, you still have some intuition in you and instinct in you of what to eat. We eat instinctively like all animals when we're first born, all of us. Yeah. We're force-fed a lot of things. For example, the only thing that we can usually eat or drink and our body will tolerate when we are first born is our mother's milk. Not the neighbor's mother, not nobody else's, but our own mother's milk. And it's really interesting because now a lot of people now in many Western countries no longer breastfeed, and they've not been doing it for a while.
So sad, yeah. And for a very short period of time, like, the natural time being anywhere from 3, 4+ years, and people think that's crazy, but that's, a very helpful way to build up a child's immune system and so many other things, of course.
To build up the
Microbiome,
child, just to build a
brain.
child,
Yeah,
to build
just
a
to build a
child.
child, absolutely.
The mental state, their emotional state, your emotional state is very affected with the way you were birthed.
Mhm.
And also whatever happened when you were in your mother's womb on the outside that you heard or you took in, or how she felt, all her emotional stuff, gets inside of your own cells. They're making your cells.
Yeah.
So one of the things is that every one of us was born with this instinct. Some of us higher degrees, depends on the health of our mother at the time and the circumstances around her pregnancy and birth and everything else. And or intuition. All animals have that.
Mhm.
So animals who are herbivores will immediately look for and seek after they've been weaned, and the weaning happens naturally.
Yeah.
You'll never see an elephant or another animal in the wild wean their offspring on purpose. The
Mhm.
offspring knows when to
Yeah.
stop, and they'll start introducing other things to it.
Mhm.
We don't.
Yeah.
We have stopped that in many ways. There are still people who do it, and I'm really grateful to you all.
So beautiful. Mhm.
So you already have 10 or 12 pluses against you if you were never ever breastfed or if you did not wean. So your natural instinct did not get satiated. You're always going to feel hungry. You're always going to feel in need for something. And that is why I make this today, because this is the closest that I can get to mother's milk.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And that's why so many people love it. And that's why I suggest, if you're starting out from scratch and you're going this route of living foods, start out with this milk and start little. Don't just jump into it all of a sudden. And then one of the things that you will also notice is that you're then told by a doctor, a pediatrician tells the mother or the father, whoever is wearing the child, how and when to start feeding it different things. So, for example, they're always saying to eat cereal. It's the worst thing that you could give a child. First of all, you don't have any teeth at the beginning on purpose, because if you had teeth and you bit into the breast, the mother's breast, it would tear into her and it would be painful. Nature knows exactly what it's doing.
Yeah.
So when we are being denatured from birth, and the first thing we automatically do, that we do by instinct, is to reach for the breast, and we know to suck. We don't have to be trained how to suck from the breast. And so the jaws develop as well. And the child's body knows when to start bringing forth teeth, and because it's time for weaning. If you're going to wean and the teeth are coming in, you need something that will develop the jaws and also that will sharpen and clean the teeth. Those exist in the fruit world.
Love it. Absolutely. You wouldn't believe what I was fed for my first meal. I bet you couldn't even guess. It's crazy. I looked at my baby book. The first food from after mother's milk I was given was roast beef with gravy and potatoes at 6 months. 6 months, roast beef, potatoes, and gravy. Can you believe it?
In a
It's
blender?
crazy.
How did it?
That part I didn't ask, but that was the baby's first food. Roast beef, potatoes, and gravy. It was either 6 or 8 months. Unreal. I don't know, maybe they pre-chewed it for me, or maybe they just mashed it, and I don't know, but it's in my baby book, and they said, yep, that was it. I wish it was bananas, watermelon, lime.
Oh
But I
my!
still made it. I still made it. But geez, that wouldn't be how I'd recommend anyone bring someone into their first food experience.
Which is probably why you're here now, why you're doing what you're doing now, because your instincts were so strong that they took over even later in life.
I feel blessed.
So I bow to you.
Oh, I bow back to you.
Really, I honor you for that, because at some point your inner self, your instinct, that place within you which no one else can touch, comes forth, and you will go back to either hear the call and you answer it, or you don't hear the call and then you do everything that's destructive.
Yeah.
That's why some people live very destructive lives and some don't. It has to do with those first 7 years of our life. So I trained to be a movement therapist, and I studied developmental movement. And there are certain movements of the jaw that we eat when we eat a live fruit, like apples or whatever fruit you're being fed as a child. And it's interesting because a lot of people who have TMJ, all has to do with that time of your life, that your jaws never develop. But also your neck, if you end up having a lot of neck pain, when you're suckling the breast, it develops your neck muscles and your jaw muscles, which gets you ready to eat. And for the rest of your life, you will never have a neck pain. Even if you fell and you hurt your neck, it will hurt you for a while, but you're not going to have chronic neck pain. And if you have neck pain, that determines your movement pattern for the rest of your life as well as your posture. It's so far-reaching, what we're fed at the beginning. You know, this morning I was just finished interviewing Wendy. She was breastfeeding as she was on the line with me. Yeah. Nice. Because her baby demanded to eat, and I just said, go right ahead.
Nadine's asking what TMJ is. That's the lockjaw, is it not?
Transmandibular, yeah. Your jaw becomes very tight, and it's very painful. And it affects almost every single thing you do. When you drink, you eat, you sleep, you tend not to breathe properly because your mouth is open, so you don't breathe through your nostrils. It affects every facet of your life. And there's so many people with that problem right now.
Yeah.
So it's a joint, it's your joint right here, transmandibular joint, and it's so critical. And that's also why some people, even when they're teenagers, you'll see they'll have a little turkey neck or whatever. You can tell that child has not been breastfed. Or another problem is they take out what we call the wisdom teeth because we're told we don't need them. We need them. The minute you take out your wisdom teeth, your jaw flops and falls.
Wow. Is this all connected with mouth breathing as well, like the slack jaw and mouth breathing, which that's also incredibly detrimental to health as well?
Yes. And now you expect people to eat properly when your jaw has no dexterity and no strength. So you're going to start craving sweet things, and not sweet things, but soft things. And instead of making soft, some people will get a peach and mash it up and give it to the baby. But a lot of people are giving them ice cream.
And ice cream would be better.
Ice cream. Using the banana.
Yeah. And maybe some coconut too. We could, mingle a little bit with both of those.
Yeah, in the recipe book, I also mentioned how to use this to make you can make a nice cream from this, which is our version of ice cream. Or there's so much you can do. So anyway, you already set the stage for a lot of problems with food. But if you're serving the child food and the child doesn't want it, I only wanted fruits as a child. Only fruits, nothing else.
Did you have a favorite?
And they learned. Pardon?
Did you have a favorite fruit when
you
were a child? No, anything.
As long as it was sweet and it was juicy. Juicy was important. Yeah, still is. I'm still a child in that way. It has to be juicy. If you give me a fruit and it's not juicy, I don't want it.
Yeah. No Canestelle for you.
It's no longer fruit.
Yeah.
So, I was telling the story in Debbie's live today that the way I was taken off of fruits was that I was held down by these adults to be inoculated. And I was told I had to be inoculated to go to school. Well, they brought this huge needle to push in me, and I had a fit. And I was a very happy child, apparently, and I'm running around all the time, and I was a natural dancer. I had a tantrum, and they'd never seen me throw a tantrum before. And they held me down and shot me with it, so I ended up in the hospital because I was violently sick.
Yeah.
In the hospital, I wouldn't eat anything. I didn't trust it. I learned that adults were not trustworthy, and they didn't listen to what I wanted, what I needed. And they tried to feed me all these different things, including, would you believe it, soda.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was thirsty. I was dehydrated. So eventually somebody there, I don't remember who, I don't know who it was, I was too young to know who it was, decided, why don't you try and feed her some vegetable soup? They gave me that, and that I ate. Mm-hmm. And that's how my demise started. Mm-hmm. It went downhill from there. Yeah. And if you look at Debbie's live, you'll see the whole story of my teens and whatnot, but we're coming back to everybody else. So if you already take away from the child what it eats instinctively, you're setting it up for life for a huge amount of problems. Mm-hmm. I am absolutely positive, and I've shown this with my clients, that when you change a person's diet, you change their mental state as well.
Yeah, for sure.
But in order to do that, to make that change, you've got to change their mindset.
Yeah.
So I went to university and I studied linguistics because I wanted to see the impact of language on all of our choices. Mm-hmm. And I use that first. I do not ever teach people how to go to living foods or just to move away from cooked foods. I first teach them how to change their own structural patterns of behavior by the cognitive part of themselves, by the language that they use. Once you change the language, I hear people say all the time, oh, I tried to eat raw foods and I loved it and but I couldn't stick with it because your mindset didn't change. Yeah. You're using the same mindset that made you ill and sick, and you're using that mindset to eat a whole variety of things which you cannot do with that old mindset. So you've got to be trained on how to change your language first and your own thought patterns before you do that. Otherwise, you're going to be in a battle. And the battle that you're in is reminiscent of the battles that you had with your parents when you were a child. Mm-hmm. When you have battles with food as a child, you're going to always be in a war with food for the rest of your life. Always. Because that's what you know. And you saw your parents having battles with food as well. If you're taught to honor yourself and to honor the rhythms of nature, in other words, your family ate seasonally, and did everything, went to bed seasonally, did everything, wore things seasonally, did everything seasonally, you begin to realize that you're part of nature, and you automatically begin to follow the universe's natural rhythm. When you do that, it's so easy to eat and drink this way. You don't think about it. It becomes an exciting, incredibly high vibrating lifestyle for you. Mm-hmm. And we have battles with food, and we have so many different diets. We have so many diets.
It's wild. It's so wild.
Animals have one diet. It's the same one they've been eating since they were babies.
Yeah. Exactly.
They were weaned. One diet.
Yeah.
And they're not told to eat variety.
Yeah. No, like exactly. It's just.
But you have to have variety. You can't just have fruits.
Yeah. This is Elegant Raw Doreet, Mary. Mary's asking, who is this? This is Elegantly Raw Doreet.
You cannot fix a problem with the same mindset that created the problem. You have to move away from your parents. You have to dishonor your parents, and you have to be disloyal to your family line if you expect to eat the way your family has always eaten, and then you expect to suddenly change. You have to be okay with being disloyal to the family systems. It's the only way you'll be successful eating this way. We give you the ultimate raw vegan bundle, but you then have to change. You have to go against huge pressures. But the greatest pressure is in yourself, is from yourself. The feeling of disloyalty, the feeling of being different, the feeling that you are good enough now to be different. And people are not going to like the fact that you like yourself enough to be different and to be yourself.
Truth.
So you need to work with somebody. The work that I do, I work with Bert Hellinger's work in intergenerational trauma, and I developed a program based on his work, and I call it trauma-induced eating, because most people eat around trauma. Think of it, when people get upset, they eat or they drink.
Yeah.
When people are happy, they
eat and drink. Absolutely. They're taught it from birth.
People are angry, they
Yeah. Everything. Yeah.
It's an emotionally based reaction rather than a response, rather than a biological response. When we eat for our digestive system, rather than to feel a certain way, when we are in tune with our digestive system, when we ask our digestive system, do you want this? Or do you want this? And when you ask your digestive system, you will receive an answer. It takes a while to develop that. You had this as a child. You had this, but we had it shamed out of us, beaten out of us, yelled out of us, raped out of us. And we also began to listen to mainstream media and the corporate world. And I was shocked when I came to the United States and I saw children being sat in front of television sets in the morning and listening to these wildly chaotic cartoons. And I noticed that even more than the cartoons, there were all these very strong, robust advertisements about cereal and all this other stuff which you don't want and you don't need in your body.
Yeah. With cartoons and bright colors from fruits and everything like that too.
The same colors, but artificially injected into this stuff to make it look like that. And then now it's saying it's healthy if you use the same rubbish that's called cereal, and you put fruits on top of it, put berries on top of it. But when you do that, you're not digesting the berries. And we've not been taught to listen to our digestive system. We've not been taught to honor it. And our digestive system is our second brain. And now people are getting so into, probiotics and all this stuff, and they're taking it artificially. The body, when it's clean, and when you pay attention to it, because the digestive system and your eliminatory system and your assimilation all need your full attention. But we do not pay attention to that. When I teach my clients, I teach them to eat mindfully. That is the biggest struggle I have with my clients, is to teach them to eat mindfully. But when they do, they begin to realize it's not what I'm eating that's important, it's who I am and how I approach the meal. It's what I'm bringing to the meal. That's why the word elegant. If you bring elegance to the meal, your digestive system and your eliminatory system and your assimilation will be also elegant.
I love it. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's where the elegance comes in. So it's not about drinking this. It's who is drinking this. Who are you? So this got dressed up for you. Are you going to dress yourself up for this? There was a time when we used to dress up for meals. Not too long ago, not even 100 years ago, even 50 years ago. People used to dress up for meals. They used to come home, used to wash and dress up. People don't wash and dress up now. In Los Angeles, I see people on the driving. And there is no consistency of a relationship with themselves and what they're putting in their mouth. In order to change a relationship with food, we first must change our relationship with ourselves. Because our relationship with food is indicative of a relationship with ourselves. If you want to know who you are, look at the table. Look at how you eat, when you eat, and how you eat, and what your relationship to food is. And so that is why when I work with clients, I always work on the mindset first by working on their languaging. I hear people saying, let me go grab a coconut. That's a very violent language. You can't grab lunch. If you're going to grab lunch, you're going to have a problem. That's violence. But let me sit down and prepare myself for this meal. It's not what's for the meal. It's not what is for lunch. It's who am I bringing to the luncheon table? What about myself? What is sacred within me that I can bring to match the sacredness of this coconut? So much went into this: the moon, the sun, the stars, the insects in the soil. There's a wonderful movie called Living Soil. It's a Japanese movie. It is incredible. I think every human being ought to watch it, because then you begin to realize that a banana is not a banana. It is an entire kaleidoscope scope of every single creature that went into that earth and created the soil. It's everyone who passed by that field. It's every raindrop. It's every time the sun shone. It's the moonlight on that. And that is why I prefer biodynamic farming to organic farming, because they farm according to the phases of the moon, and they harvest according to the phases of the moon as well. So there's a synergy with the universe, as there must be a synergy with the universe. We're out of touch with ourselves. We are in disharmony with ourselves. So of course we're going to be in disharmony with the food. Yeah. You're bringing the same disharmony with yourself into the food. And then you wonder, why is I tried to go raw for a month and it was great and I felt amazing, but I always was driven back to cooked food. It's because that same disharmony exists within you, and you're bringing that to a food that either has no harmony, or you could be getting food that of a low vibrational nature because of where it was grown, the way it was harvested, or who grew it and harvested it, and the way it was brought to you. There's a whole history and a whole story. We don't have enough time for it, and I know Chris must get some sleep. So
I'm good. I'm enjoying this, and a lot of people are really loving it as well.
Just be aware that you're the most important part of that meal. It's who you bring to the meal that's important. Dress up for your meals. Be elegant in your choices. Wash yourself before you eat. Make sure that when you eat, you are totally and completely aware of who is eating. Yeah. Who is eating who. That's a really, because what I studied with Thich Nhat Hanh, I was trained by Thich Nhat Hanh, and that's how I learned that when I drink this, I'm drinking myself. This is another part of myself that I'm drinking. So now I have to honor myself in this glass. That's why I use a glass that I think honors it, but I'm also honoring the farmers and every single person who planted it, picked it, harvested it, schlepped it, put it on the shelves, and brought it to me. And until we are aware of that, we're going to always be craving another meal and another meal and the next one and the next one, and we're going to be having cravings that aren't healthy. So the word I hear people go nowadays go, I am obsessed with this, I'm obsessed with that, and they mean it in a way an exciting way. Obsession, there's nothing exciting about obsession. Or obsession with getting things and using things and extends to people and to the rest of the universe. But when we think about what can I bring to the equation, a totally different energy then gets awakened within us and with everything else in our lives. Everything is energy. We must bring energy in order to eat energy. To replenish energy, energy must show up to replenish energy. We must raise our own energies to a higher level to meet the high vibrational energy of this food. Don't expect this food to do for you what you will not do for yourself. So you must bring up and raise up your own energies, because this is a very high vibrational energy. If you put something of a high vibrational energy in a body that's been fed by thoughts of a very low vibration, or if you're angry while you're eating, you will not get any of the high vibrational energy of this food, because you have just lowered this vibrational energy with your own. And that is what I teach, and I teach how to do that. And that is the core of the trauma-induced eating work that I teach, because most of us have so much trauma in our lives, we do not even see it. And some of it is handed down from generation to generation. All you have to do is go to a family meal and look at how people act around the table. And there's always that uncle or aunt or somebody who shows really what's going on in the family and loses it.
Yeah.
And that's how you know that there's a problem. Yeah. But the problem is not with the people who grow our food, or the fact that our food is now so poisoned. Stop being so angry at corporations. It would never have been poisoned had we been conscious enough to demand that our food supply remains clean and pure. worthy of us. But because we don't think we are worthy of food with the highest vibrational energy, we are okay with all the stuff that's been done with our food supply. And we would take our energies and make sure that that never happened. So you can say, okay, I'm going to go raw. And by the way, I don't use the word raw. I use the word living foods because this is alive and because everything to me is raw. Because the sun cooks our food. The moon cooks our food. The stars cook our food. So it's all cooked the way we need it to be cooked. That's why we don't need to recook it. You know, it's like refried beans.
Yeah, yeah.
We're all refried beans.
Sunfire, Zara says.
Yes, and he's going to be on with us at the California Fruit Festival.
Yes.
On the 30th of June, he'll be with us.
Let's share more about that a little bit. Tell everyone
so
where we can find it.
The reason why I started the California Fruit Festival 3 years ago was because we're all in lockdown.
Yeah.
And we were being told that we have to stay indoors. Not that we have to go out into the sun and get freshly polluted air here in Los Angeles. And that we need to be outdoors and we need to go to the beach and to the mountains where you've got all that incredible energy.
Yeah.
You know, and we need to run. And I was running every day and I was the only person out there running. It was kind of scary at one point. But I was out there every day because I used to be a runner. I'm not anymore because lately I cannot run in my neighborhood. It's gotten really dangerous, like everywhere now in LA. So that's the reason why I don't run anymore. But the point is that it's so important to realize what exists inside of ourselves before we try to find out what we can use for ourselves. I thought if I created the California Fruit Festival, it will teach people that fruits are not the enemy.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I heard a lot of advice being given when we're in lockdown, don't eat fruit.
Yeah, don't go outside, don't exercise, just get alcohol and stay at home.
And online, I saw this man at Whole Foods Market, and his entire trolley was full of Piz Frozen Pizza. And that's what he was going to go home and lock himself in his home and eat. And people were thrilled about it. And I saw the comments and I couldn't believe, oh yeah, I should do that too. And then I thought, no, get some fruits. And so when people started getting sick and then they were dying and whatnot, and I thought, this is craziness. You know, we've demonized the things that come straight from the earth because we've forgotten that we're part of the earth and that we need the source of all of our life comes from the universe. And the universe is very generous and loving. It would not give us these things if this is not what we needed. We don't need to go out and manufacture things that we don't need. It already gives us everything that we need. So I created California Fruit Festival to be a fun environment. We had dancing and we have all this stuff going on. But I also created another part which was also on Zoom, virtual, so that people around the world could do it. I'm only doing the Zoom now because it's too expensive and too much unbelievable bureaucracy to put on an event in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Well, all the stuff that's needed. So it's online, it's on Zoom, it's on the 30th of June this year. And we have this think tank of which Chris Kendall is one of the leaders of the think tank.
Excited for it. It's going to be amazing.
And last year we did one on one of our panels was on fruitarian athletes.
Yeah.
It was incredible. You can still get a copy of it. But anyway, if you go on my website, which is theoncookingshow.com, because I do not cook, I on-cook and have a show that's called The On Cooking Show on On-Chain TV. You'll have the information there. Chris will have the information. Every Dr. Tim Trader, Dr. Doug Graham, so many people are there. Aris Latham, Dr. Aris Latham is there, Sun-Fired Cuisine. Yep. So it's really, and we have some really amazing people on there. So it's really to inspire people to look at things a different way, but not so different that they cannot connect with it, but actually the truth. If the truth resonates with you when you listen to what the people are saying on there, then you begin to realize that somewhere you lost the truth, and it's okay to come back to yourself. I invite everyone today to find one way to return to oneself. Because when you return to yourself, you start developing self-mastery. Once you develop self-mastery, nobody can tell you what to eat, when to eat, or how to eat ever again. You'll do this instinctively. And that is what I eat, and this is what my whole raison d'etre is to help people to get back to the essence of themselves, to teach self-mastery. And you have to do that, first of all, by giving up a lot of things like certain movies. You know, the reason why we have so much violence now, and people who are so violent they don't even realize that they're just propelling hatred everywhere, is because we grew up a whole generation on video games that were violent. And what were they? They were eating as they were doing it, and they were eating things that had nothing to do with food.
Yeah.
We reap what we sow, and that's what we sowed. But we can undo it because we're human beings, and we're so versatile, and we're so powerful that we can undo it. And then we have people like Chris, the banana commander, who posts the most amazing things to inspire us on Instagram. So we have help. Help is this hand. We're not alone.
Yeah.
And that's why I think the ultimate raw vegan bundle is so important, because in one bundle for only $50, you get a plethora of things, and you have a whole year to download it. You know,
it's true.
A plethora of things that you can then use to really recycle your life and regain self-mastery. Like Chris was saying at the beginning, if you're a mother and you want to start really with your children, you want to redo all of that. There's somebody there who's called the Raw Mama. You've got a yoga class. You've got so many things. So let other people know about it. Don't just keep it to yourself, because we're meant to share and share and share our abundance in life. I see it as an abundance bundle. That's the way I look at it, is the abundance bundle. So thank you, Chris, and also Felisa, for creating that.
Absolutely. Such a pleasure, for sure. And blessed that you're a part of it, and that you're spreading all this joy and connecting with so many people. And of course, the California Fruit Festival as well. So blessed to be a part. Definitely excited for that. That'll be a lot of fun. So can you share one more time the link for people? There's an active link right now to sign up early, or will that link be live later?
Yeah, it will be live after the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle. Yeah. And I just launched something in LA on Friday. We now have in Los Angeles a living foods and movie night every Saturday at 6 o'clock at Olac restaurant downtown. For those of you who do not know Olac, and when you come to LA, please come. Yeah. Olac, it's a Vietnamese vegan restaurant downtown, all plant-based. Yeah. And they have a separate living food menu created by Chef Etto. And so we work together on a menu for this, and we have our own room, or we're in the events room, and I've made it as elegant as I can. And Lynn, who is the proprietor, has done an amazing job with that room. And we have put together these first Friday of the month, if you're ever in LA, a living dinner and also movie night. And it's free of charge. You only have to pay the restaurant for your dinner.
That's awesome. That's so awesome. I've heard so many good things about Olac. That's one of the few raw restaurants that was out in LA that I never made it to, because before I believe it was just in Carlsbad or someone like that, but now it's in LA. And Camilla was actually asking before, she'd heard lots of raw restaurants or vegan restaurants were closing. Have you seen that happen out there? Is that going on in LA?
Constantly. And Olac is the only one that has survived. It started in Fountain Valley in Orange County, and they still have that one. It's huge, and their living foods menu is much bigger. This one is the daughter. That was Mai. Mai is the person who started that. But the daughter, Lynn, is the one who opened the one in downtown LA. And it is a smaller living foods menu, but it's quite a wide menu still. And it is just lovely. It's gorgeous. So I want, for when people who eat this lifestyle, that they can have a place that's where they can dress up for and have a night out on the town. And that's why I created the first Friday of every month, the living dinner and movie night.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Does Chef Etto still run the main one, or yeah?
No, he doesn't run it. He's the chef. He creates all of the menu for the first Friday living food movie night too. He created that, and he does the living foods menu there.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I hope to make it there someday. I'm going through my residency process here in Sweden, but once that goes through, I hope to travel more. And I love LA. It'd be great to give you a big hug and check out Olac and one of those movie nights. That'd be lots of fun.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm purposely keeping it free of charge
Yeah,
because I want to make sure that the people who don't have money or just been laid off, they don't have to say, I can't go. You just have to pay for your meal. If you don't want to have the meal, then come at 7, which is when the movie
yeah,
starts.
yeah, yeah. And that was at Olac in which area again?
Downtown Los Angeles.
Okay, perfect.
So
It's
that's why
yeah,
you'll
Olac. There
see.
we go. Thanks, Diane. She spelt that in there.
So Olac, it's French because the Vietnam used to be French too, and it's by the lake,
Mhm.
which is why in Fountain Valley is right across from a lake.
Is Chef Ito still silent? I know he has been silent for a very, very long time.
He's
Vow of silence, right?
Now that's another incredible way to be mindful when around food and when eating, which is I was really loved when I met him because when I'm preparing food for my clients, I do not speak. I don't talk to anybody or, I'm not on the phone. I just communicate with the food. And people always say to me, I tried to make what you make. I saw the way you made it. I came to your class. It doesn't take the same when you made it because you're absent.
Mm, mm,
I'd make myself fully present for the food,
yeah,
fully present. It's not just food, it's everything that went into it. You
yeah,
know, I honor, I'm a lover of the moon, of a full moon and of the moon. So I honor all those things. And I remember when I studied with Thich Nhat Hanh, and he said, when you can look at a food and you can see the moon and the stars and you can see the sun,
mhm,
then you know that you are on the right track because that's what food is.
yeah.
So everything in the universe come together in that
Real,
one form.
real food, real food. All the piranhas, all aspects coming together, and I can tell you with clarity too that the most poignant way I let go of cravings for foods that were outside of, Mother Nature's gifts for us was through bringing presents. Like even though I chose something that was outside of it, I sat and I ate it in presence with reverence, with love and acceptance that it didn't change my state of being, didn't change who I was, didn't change the divine spirit within. I just came with complete presence, meditation, and while eating it, I was like, this isn't what I thought. This isn't what I made it up to be. This does not resonate. I don't need this anymore, and it made it a lot easier to all of a sudden let go of that. And I mean, life's a bit of a dance, so it wasn't the last time that I ever chose something like that, but it definitely lost so much of its power. And I can't speak highly enough of what you're mentioning about presence and coming to the meal with yourself and being more in touch with yourself and that relationship between you and the food and yourself and yourself.
Eating is a meditative practice.
Yeah.
It's a meditative practice, which is why I eat before I go. When you come to the Friday nights, you won't see me eating because I'm working it. So
Yeah.
I don't work it at the same
Yeah.
time. So eating is a meditative practice. And you said that it lost the power over you
Yes.
because you now gain self-mastery. That's why.
Yeah. 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 I usually lose weight at events.
Yes, yes. And that's when I fast is when I have a whole day event, that's how I fast.
Yeah.
And then I don't even notice I'm fasting.
Mhm.
So I invite everyone who really is getting the bundle, not just to look at the bundle as what can I eat today, it's how can I find myself more deeply, more reverently, and how can I get in touch with the essence of who I am by using this bundle.
Mhm. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Dorit. I think that's a great place to end this at the top of the hour. And I just want to let everyone know again, we're both apart and show Dorit some love at Elegantly Raw Dorit. I know that your account just kind of got some trouble. So everyone go over there right now and give a like, give a follow, grab the bundle through Dorit. And we'll after the bundle, we'll be talking more about the California Fruit Fest and we'll have links up. I will, Dorit will. So we'll hope that you join us there as well. Thank you so
Thanks,
much, Dorit.
everyone.
Thanks so
Thank you,
much, everyone.
Chris. And you,
Always, always to you too.
thank
Banana time,
you,
coconut
banana.
time. Always wishing you much peace, love, and seasonal fruit. See you guys. Thanks so much, Dorit. Don't forget to check out the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle, 33 ebooks and courses worth over $840 for just $50, but only until May 12th, and then it's all gone.